Good evening. I want to talk about technology and food insecurity and social work. Food insecurity continues to be a growing problem in many parts of the country and all over the world. The purpose of this assignment is to discuss how technology plays a role in assisting with making people become food secure. Traditionally, food insecurity was remedied with funds such as donations. However, research shows that even cash may not be as effective as the actual giving of food because there are so many stipulations with giving cash, and then you have to get the food with the cash, and oftentimes that depletes the whole process of getting food to those who need it most. There are lots of children and families that do not have food, and those people are defined as being food insecure. Food insecurity is the opposite of the definition of food security. Food security is defined as access by all people at all times to enough food for an active, healthy lifestyle. Food security includes, at a minimum, the ready availability of nutritionally adequate and safe food, and an assured ability to acquire acceptable foods in socially acceptable ways, without resorting to emergency food supply, scavenging, stealing, or other coping strategies. Food insecurity stems from several factors, including a plunge in the economy, inability of families to access food markets, and as well as poverty. As of 2013, there are 5 areas in the United States with the highest rates of food insecurity: Washington, D.C., Oregon, Arizona, New Mexico, and Florida. California is the leader with the highest number of food insecure children. The problem with food insecurity is how we are as social workers and a society can create long-term food security with the use of technology. For years, the approach to food security has been more hands-on, such as food pantries and soup kitchens, as well as government programs like WIC, SNAP, and food stamps. So how does technology play a role in sustaining food security for the long term? Well, first we need to know that food insecurity is detrimental to a healthy lifestyle. A traditional response to food insecurity, such as food pantries, have been effective in providing food to families, but they have not been as effective in providing healthy foods. Only foods with mostly carbohydrates that leads to obesity and diabetes. Food insecurity is a relevant social problem. In 2010, the United States Department of Health and Human Services adopted the goal of increasing the prevalence of food security among U.S. households as one of the health objectives for the nation all the way to 2010. The United States Department of Agriculture uses 4 levels of measuring food security and insecurity. Number 1 being that of high food security, 2 marginal food security, 3 low food security, and 4 very low food security. Technology can aid in fighting this social issue of food insecurity. We have phone surveys that conduct live phone interviews. Giving clients the names of food secure online websites is another way. Social networking sites also make mention of different hunger initiatives. The cell phone has even become a more common mode of communication since people are always on the move. And through the cell phone, clients have access to therapy-based applications, text messaging, video and sound recordings, as well as pictures. A more in-depth technology that social workers need to be more knowledgeable about is genetically modified organisms, which is used mostly to refer to genetically modified food or food that is made through biotechnology. This is not a technology. This is a technology that affects social work practice. When it comes to technical competencies, social workers should be proficient in technological skills and tools required for competent and ethical practice. There are pros and cons when it comes to the GMO process, which is biotechnology, food security, yield technology, and food security, as well as far as genetic diversity and the engineering of food. Biotechnology is said to enhance the quality of food by introducing micronutrients like vitamins and beta carotene into food that can increase the overall productivity, affordability, and quality of food. While GMOs and biotechnology are supposed to stretch food to create more crops to fight food insecurity, the food that is being genetically altered is barely that of fruits and vegetables. This creates a problem because these foods that are being genetically altered are not serving a purpose to the population of starving people. Food security is measured not only by the availability of food, but also in the enhancement of nutritional value. Foods that come from this technology can be detrimental to the physical and mental health of individuals, who will then need social worker intervention. This is why it is important for social workers to educate themselves about food biotechnology and genetic diversity. The ethical considerations when it comes to social workers learning more about food technology. One of those ethical considerations is intellectual property concerns, something that I had no knowledge of before doing this assignment. The private sector developed many of the genetically engineered innovations in private companies that hold the rights to develop patents and are most likely to pursue further development of these genetic food technologies. In these situations, these private corporations may not invest in developing genetically engineered innovations that benefit the poor. Therefore, the cycle continues. Food provided to the poor that is full of carbohydrates and lacks sufficient nutrients. The National Association of Social Workers Code of Ethics regarding informed consent states that social workers should provide services to clients only in the context of a professional relationship based, when appropriate, on valid informed consent. There is more to the quote, but in the interest of time, I will proceed. Social workers that provide clients with access to food services are required to gain consent from the client should the social worker have to provide client information to a food service about that client. Social workers are also responsible for maintaining client privacy. The Code of Ethics, Section 1.07 of the NASW Code of Ethics states, social workers should respect clients' rights to privacy. Social workers should not solicit private information from clients unless it is essential to providing services or conducting social work evaluation or research. For example, a social work therapist should not discuss with a client that another client is food insecure. Therapists should also be careful not to compromise client privacy during online conversations in forums and groups. Technology in social work is the incorporation of technological advances into social work practice. Examples would be the use of a computer, tablet devices, or even mobile communications, Skype, webcams to communicate and provide therapy to the client. When it comes to food insecurity, technology in social work entails understanding the biotechnology that it takes to genetically alter food to create more distribution. The argument is that technology has been used to create genetically altering foods, making it possible to feed a large amount of starving people. Whether or not the social worker agrees or does not agree with biotechnology and genetic diversity or GMOs, It is the ethical responsibility of the social worker to continue to counsel the client using technological advances in social work. Technological advances in social work are one of the things that have taken social work practice to the next level from its traditional mode and is here to stay.